Hey everybody, this is Cindy Allen, Editor-in-Chief of Interior Design. Well, today I'm with my good friends at Stone Source, the place to go for a curated selection of natural stone, porcelain tile, ceramic tile, glass tile, and much, much more. And today we're going to take a tour of their showroom, a virtual one, and I'm going to take it with you. And we're going to see how it all works. Then we're going to view product, some of your faves and some exciting new collections to get us all inspired, just what we like to do. Okay, everybody, I'd love to welcome my good friends, Joe McIsaac, the President and CEO of Stone Source. Hi, Joe, how are you?
Hello, Cindy, very nice to see you.
It's great to see you. And Ron Solano, Vice President of Product Development and Procurement for Stone Source. Hi, Ron.
Hello, Cindy, how are you doing?
Great. Well, you know, typically I'm seeing you, Joe, in the showroom, right?
Right. We love to use the showroom as a tool to bring people together, showcase product, have a good time, and be able to have more intimate one-on-ones. And so obviously these days it's a little bit more difficult.
Exactly. And I know that for a designer, it's a real treat whenever you're like going to go to Stone Source, even for me, go to Stone Source, see what's new. And so I know that the showroom is a big deal for you and you had to pivot really fast. So I'm very excited to hear about the virtual showroom. Tell me how it works.
So it's a great story because during the first few months of the lockdown, we were all very concerned about how we were going to interact with our clients and what was the digital virtual world going to be like when you couldn't visit people's offices, bring them to the showroom. And so, you know, we think with a challenge like that comes opportunity. So
right.
That's the concept of the digital showroom. It's a technology that exists. It's a 3D camera. You shoot the whole showroom with the camera, but the user experience, which has been used in real estate, you've probably seen it if you've ever done a virtual tour on any of the real estate sites. So we just haven't seen it adapted to showrooms. And we thought probably in April or May, let's order the camera and just shoot the showroom. So since then, it's just been tremendous response. We're able to walk through the entire showroom. We've got all of the products marked so that if you're interested in something that you see, you can zoom in on it, click on it, and it takes you to our website and you get more detail.
Right, so you were saying, so every product then is tagged in a way that is useful for a designer, right?
Exactly, and it's not cluttered. If you're not interested, you just go by it. It has a little icon, and if you want to get more information, it's your choice. So it's been optimized for desktop, laptop, iPad, and telephone, and you can do it on the phone. I mean, most of the practice we did was on the phone because we figured that that's the major way people are going to use it.
Yeah, exactly. And so what you've created is, so you've created this virtual showroom, but at the same time, also a tool for the designers.
And you think about also that the showroom is a physical location, and we have 10 across the country. So you have to be within a X mile radius to visit the showroom. Now we have a showroom, and we picked our biggest showroom, the New York showroom that we shot, where you can be anywhere in the country and come to our showroom. So we think we've expanded the reach dramatically, and that people need to have the opportunity to use these tools in their home or as they move locations from the office to the home to any other place that they might be.
Yeah, and I know you were saying to me that it was like you can get through the showroom in 2 minutes, but of course you never would because you'd stop a million places to look at tile. And
exactly. And it's super intuitive. It's very straightforward. It's not a new technology. It's a new application of a great existing technology.
Yeah, and I know that all of these things are, all these questions are happening and how do we solve them? And we think of Stone Source as a leader. And in this case, you're like, okay, we got a lead, right?
Well, I think, under challenging times, it's like one of the things is you get a great opportunity to say, what can we do to make the most of a difficult situation? And by the way, if things were to be 100% normal and everybody's back to work, the digital virtual showroom would be a huge tool that we are going to have for the next 20 years. So
exactly. Some of the things that we're figuring out right now are things that will help us no matter what. When we get back in, you still have this tool.
With our ability to use this technology into the future it's accelerated the need to be able to have people view the showroom without coming in. This type of change has accelerated what is a normal course of the type of evolution of how we're going to communicate with our clients. Here's an interesting point. Our sampling did not change during the last 6 months. So people still want physical samples. But how do you figure out what samples you want and how do you get interested in the collections? And so the virtual showroom is the perfect tool.
I love it. Okay, wait. All right. So now I want to take the virtual tour. Okay, who's giving me the tour?
Well, I'm going to start. So
okay.
We'll as you enter the showroom, one of the first things.
I'm so excited. I'm going to the showroom.
As you enter the showroom, one of the first things we wanted to highlight was the black and white collection from Floorgrass. It was one of our recent introductions, and kind of like the textile companies, everybody wants to know what's new. You have to have new collections. There has to be product development going on constantly. And so at all of the trade shows, and we have 2 launches each year. We have a spring and a fall launch. And so everybody's interested in what's new. So the collection from Floorgrass that we're going to show you, the black and white collection. Yeah. Floorgrass is probably one of the largest Italian manufacturers. They're the Fiat. They're from very affordable to high end. They're really good design, and they always seem to have some of the best design that really covers lots of categories. Mm-hmm. The black and white collection is porcelain tile in a number of different shapes and sizes, and it's very bold blacks and whites, and it kind of echoes the very strong Nero Marquino black Spanish marble or any of the white Carraras. And so wait,
I've just gotten there. What? Okay. Oh my God, there's the wall of it. It looks amazing. Okay, I kind of want to touch and feel it, but that's where I get the sample.
And as you zoom in, you can get the technical information. You can see the different sizes that it comes in. We are partnered with Material Bank, where we do house lots of these samples. And so we like to communicate with our clients directly. And if they choose to use Material Bank, that's been a real plus for us.
And I like that you're showing the black and white, because that is very, very on trend, and is something that I think is the kind of thing that's going to look good forever, even though everyone wants black and white these days.
Right.
Right?
So we're really happy with our partnership with Floorgrass. We've been working with them for over 30 years. They're a tremendous partner for us. And then Ron was going to take you through and show you this great new product from the Trend Group.
Okay. But, I have to say that even, because there is a bit more freedom in terms of color these days, but my designer friends who I think have the best hand using color are actually also always using black and white in their palettes. So black and white is forever.
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 Exactly.
Okay, Ron.
We don't disagree. I think black and white, no matter what we do, is something we always have available. So when it's really introduced in a new way, that's good news.
I love it.
Also, as you're going through the showroom, and speaking of color, Trend is a terrazzo product. We're also have had a relationship with them for over 20 years. And when you come into the VR showroom, you could obviously look at the product. The other interesting thing, there's a measurement tool on the VR showroom. So if you wanted to be precise and understand what size piece you're looking at, you could actually do a measurement. And so you can realize this is what a 24 by 24, 24 by 48 tile actually looks like, and you can confirm that size with the tool, which is something that we had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so now I'm heading over to Terrazzo Land, which, by the way, oh my God, it's such a huge variety of colorways.
Tons and tons of colors, 52.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Plus the ability to obviously do custom things, which we have done for certain quantities or specific clients. The newest thing for Trend, and the terrazzo is called Origina, is microband.
Okay, so explain microband for everyone out there who may not know what that actually means.
Super. Microban is an antimicrobial product. So it's, we can say that it's fired into the product or just kind of built in when they are manufacturing. So it's continuously working. It's a 24 hour, 7-day a week tool inside the material. So it's always active and it's reducing growth of new bacteria. So you're cleaner between cleanings, depending on where you are. If you're in a hotel room, right, as an example. If you're certainly doing your kitchen countertops or pantry tops in office spaces as we go forward. Hopefully the restaurant. Yep.
Yeah, designers are really concerned about that right now. Also because their clients are very concerned about it, right?
Correct. And I think the attention to it happened very quickly even for us as we started to talk about it. And so we'll have that also as part of the VR showroom. You can click on to the Terrazzo products and you can get all the technical details. You can get all the information on Microban, the lifetime, its extended product lifetime, all the things and characteristics that you need to know are all in this virtual world as well. In addition, they do all types of mosaics and so you can kind of jump into the other products that Trend also does, which we typically sell in conjunction with the flooring. And this product is something we sell from, we just recently sold for an airport flooring. We've done, again, cafeteria. We've done hospitality. You can make countertops. So we're really continue to be excited about it, and the relationship has continuously grown. And I think the Microban is awfully timely in the world that we live in.
Yeah. Don't you think, so when we're talking about surfaces like safe or safer surfaces, it's, again, something that we, as designers, never really had to worry about in the past. And now it's just, the hot topic. So it's really important for you guys to educate the designers on that.
We certainly agree with that.
Okay,
Correct.
So thank you for that. Now I want to get to new, because designers are always interested in that. And first of all, Joe, tell us about this long-standing relationship with Mutina.
I think the best way to think of Mutina is that they're unlike any other company in their space. So I think of them as a design company. Right? They're not a manufacturer, they're a designer. And while they do in-house design, they're really known for going and getting outside designers to help them design product for them. So predominantly, they're designing porcelain tile. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Brock, which is almost more like a brick or an object of art. But I think a little bit of the history is important. So as a design-driven company, we just had this, simpatico between them, and we really enjoy each other's company, and we've always been delighted by their products. And the fact that they go outside of kind of the normal industrial design quotient to get new designs. So they go to people like Patricia Urquiola, the Spanish-born Milan-based designer who designs hotels and furniture and carpets and textiles, and is very prolific. And so when she had the opportunity to design tile, I promise you it looks like no other tile anybody had ever seen. Okay. So that was kind of the initial interest. And you know Patricia, and you know her.
I know Patricia, and I have a bunch of bathrooms with Mutina. I was so excited by the collection that anytime I went into your showroom, I would sell designers on it too. I had the Azulé.
Azulé, yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so Patricia Urquiola, Barber, and Osgerby had done 2 collections recently that have been very successful. They're British industrial designers, have designed the torch for the Olympics in the UK. They design furniture. They've gone to Toguchin Yoshioka, and that's a Japanese designer. So each of the designers that they've gone to, oftentimes we're designing tile for the first time. And so literally it's just every new design is something that delights us. And when we bring it to our clients, we get that same look. They say, I've never seen anything like this. They're a smaller company compared to like a floor grass. So, you know, they're the Ferrari to the floor grass of the Fiat. And Mutina is much more boutique-y. High design, really unique. And for things like flooring and walls with hard surfaces, sometimes the regular stuff is just not as dynamic.
Wait, Joe, do you guys remember that we had lunch together? This was years ago now, and you pulled out a tile at lunch from Patricia with Mutina, and it was like the first kind of like off dirty pink before that became huge. It was like the first tile that ever landed in the US that had that tone, and you guys were like, what do you think? You know, and oh my God, talk about being right on trend and starting the trend, frankly.
That was the Tiaras collection, and you know what I remember from the lunch is I called the color peach, and you promptly corrected me and said, no, blush.
Right.
And so from then on, blush is my go-to term with anything that's in that colorway. And obviously you hosted our event here with when Patricia was here. I think that's six years ago already.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah. So you think about when blush wasn't like a color, like, right? When it was like, whoa. So that was a long time ago. Now it's like, oh, blush.
Well,
exactly.
And here's a funny story about Mutina in general. We always introduce their new products as our new products, right? We have this and you know, they have new products every year, and we're always featuring their new products. Sometimes their new product introduction does not sell the first year, but it sells the second year and the third and the fourth year. And that's because if they're at the very forefront of kind of design philosophy or colorway, sometimes it literally can take 6, 9, 12 months. Other products sell right away. And so we've both agreed, both companies, that we withhold judgment, because if they're early, it doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means the rest of the world has to catch up. And so that's been our experience.
First of all, that's so smart of you. I completely agree, because I think sometimes the most exciting things are ahead of the trend, and you have to give people time to catch up. And that's why sometimes collections that you're so smart to hold on, because sometimes amazing ideas are in the back room somewhere because it didn't sell right away.
Yes.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right, so you're going to say, okay, let's get to some news.
Go ahead. Okay. Ron's going to talk about the bra collection.
Okay, so I know this is an artist, right? This
is an artist, Natalie DePasquier. And the interesting note is Natalie was one of the original founders of Memphis in Milan, right? And so imagine the think tank that was in the early 80s, and you still see their product being sold today, and the use of color and making furniture and making textiles and carpets. So Natalie, since 1987, has been a painter. And one of the first things she did with Mutina was create these brick towers. And they had an art exhibit. So it wasn't even making tile. It was for an art exhibit that she did in their premises. And Mutina has changed their DNA as well. So they're also aligning art in addition to making tile. And it's a passion of Massimo, the owner. Very, modern art driven. He loves all of the incredibly peculiar things in some cases, but clearly leading the industry with artwork. And so he told me this story about this wonderful person, and I met her, and she was born in France, but she's Milan, so she's really Italian. And Massimo is a very animated individual, if you remember. And he saw these towers, they call them, and they were made of brick. And she painted the brick in different colors, and just basically, there's 8 or 10 of them that they did this installation, and people just kind of flipped out. And he pursued her you have to make a tile line for us. And within 6 months, they actually had a collection together, which is very, very fast. And when you see it, I think the tile is kind of treated as artwork. So when you see these pieces and patterns of one of these other new things called Margarita, it's pretty incredible. The one that's over my shoulder is more homage to what she built in these towers with brick. So it's terracotta. It's an extruded terracotta, so a historical building product. right? It's been used forever. And she's basically created this idea that you could play with light inside a space. It's obviously just a false wall, if you call it something like that. You could be framed, meant as a partition and that sort of thing. But it's a sculpture. And so one of the other things we did in the showroom to shoot the VR showroom is we wanted to build these. Then there's two displays, one with Celosia, which is Patricia's product in terracotta, and then the Brock. And so actually in the VR showroom, you can walk around the piece. So like you would do in a museum, right? So if this was on display, you could physically walk around the piece. So we've accomplished that in the VR showroom, and you'll be able to see that. But
so a couple things. So it's how many colorways does it come in?
You have 5 colors. There's the Argilla, if you can see just the plain terracotta, and then there's 4 glazed colors. The glazes are done by hand. If I could grab one, this may be your favorite one.
Gorgeous.
This is called Salvia. And basically, they kind of hang the terracotta piece, and it's sprayed by hand to get the glaze. It's pretty incredible. So the glazed product you can put outside. The regular terracotta, because there's too much absorption, would just be an interior product. But you can do vertical installation, as you can kind of see behind me. You could do horizontal, or even the pieces interlock.
Beautiful.
So really pretty fascinating, one piece creating all these type of designs. We're really excited about it.
Ron, it's for commercial and residential, right?
Commercial, residential, again, lobby spaces. We've sold the Celosia for people who have done the front of cash wraps in front of bars. There was a hotel we did in Hawaii where they painted the name of the hotel like on top of the pieces. So I think it's this creative item of a very traditional product. We're really excited about it. It's a lot of fun, and getting to learn about Natalie has been also a fun idea. And we'll have a new product from them coming up early next year that she's designed. So we're very excited.
I want to meet Natalie. Sounds amazing.
Me too.
Designers will love this because anything in modules that they can create, give them a DNA, give them something to start with, and then sky's the limit. I love that it creates architecture within spaces and the light coming through. It's beautiful.
No, that's a great point. And I think a lot of times when I look at product or think about product, you want to give the designer that opportunity, right?
I always say, give a designer A, B, or C, and they'll always go for D. So you got to let them have their D.
Got to let them have fun. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's give a last word on Brock?
Well, I think that the idea of what the finished product is going to look like is limitless.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to do a quick recap. First of all, amazing new technology with the virtual showroom. So designers, you really can see what's happening. You can use your phone and scan the products. Don't worry about sampling because our friends at Stone Source work with Material Bank. And then there are collections that you're always going to want to specify from. There's the black and white, there's terrazzo, and then this new Mutina collection called Brock. Amazing. I want some. Look. Guys, look.
Yes, exactly.
Hello.
We've been admiring that for months, Cindy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic.
Well, listen, it was so much fun. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Ron, for sharing and being a leader in this industry and supporting the designers in this way with new tools, new product. We need it. We need to stay inspired, and you guys definitely inspire us.
Thanks so much, Cindy.
Great to see you, Cindy.
Yeah, thank you. We'll get on the other side of this one.
We will.
For sure.
Okay. Bye, guys.
My name is Brittany Chevalier McIntyre, and I'm the executive editor at Luxe Interiors Design magazine. Thanks for tuning in to Collab Lab with supermodel turned entrepreneur Miranda Kerr on DesignTV. Today, we will discuss Miranda's design background and the new Miranda Kerr home collection with Universal Furniture entitled Love, Joy, Bliss. While Miranda needs no introduction, she is best known as one of the world's most influential and respected models. And after 2 decades in the fashion world, Miranda transitioned from the runway to the business world as founder and CEO of Cora Organics, a certified organic skincare line sold worldwide. Not a stranger to the design world, Miranda also creates a range of fine china and giftware for Royal Albert and has designed collaborations with Swarovski and Mother Denim. In addition to running her own company, Miranda supports various causes related to women, children, health, the environment, and she still finds time for her interior design passion. Miranda, it's an honor to have you on DesignTV. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. What a lovely introduction.
Nothing less for a lovely individual. So before we discuss your new line with Universal, which I must say is quite beautiful, I'd love to know more about your design background. You have years of experience under your belt. So what ultimately inspired you to make the transition from model to CEO of your own skincare line and then to designer?
So I've been in the industry since I started modeling when I was 13, and then I never really took it seriously till I was 18. And then, you know, my career was super busy, traveling around the world, 2 different countries a week. And I was exposed to obviously a lot of creativity being in the fashion industry, and also a lot of different cultures and countries, and I found it all very inspiring to see the way that different people live all around the world. And so I've been doing different collaborations. You know, one of my first collaborations I did was design the teacups, as you were saying, with Royal Albert. And when they approached me, they originally approached me to design like glassware and stemware with them, and I was like, I'd really love to design teacups because it's something that's so close to my heart. With my grandmother growing up, I grew up in this little country town in Australia, and her prized possession was her teacups, and she had them in a beautiful cabinet with the glass windows, and she would put her teacups in there, and she had a couple on top of her piano as well that she had placed. Like, it was interesting because they were really something that meant so much to her. And so we would get them out for special occasions and whatnot. And it was quite imprinted in me because I spent a lot of time, most of my time really, with my grandmother growing up. And so when the opportunity was there for me to design with Royal Albert, I was like blown away and so excited and very particular about the way I wanted things to be. I wanted the palette to be consist of like peonies and butterflies, and because peonies are one of my favorite flowers, and I just love the delicate nature of the peonies. And the whole collection itself is around uplifting whoever comes into contact with the cup. So for instance, like this one is the friendship collection, because there's different collections with the teacup. So that was like my first experience with designing. And then I went on to do a collaboration designing a capsule collection of jeans with Mother Denim. And then I also designed jewelry with Swarovski. I also, when it comes to my own skincare company, like going back to that, when I first decided to start my own skincare company, it's fully self-funded. And so I was doing a lot of the design work, a lot of, everything from the packaging to even the words on the back of the packaging, it all just came from me because it was my company, and it was just what, you know, what you do when you have your own company. You just kind of have to be like on top of everything, right? But the reason I started Cora Organics, so shifting to that as opposed to the design part of things, is because I was traveling around the world, basically trying so many different skincare every day and I knew what worked well underneath makeup and whatnot. But what surprised me is that there was that the beauty industry was unregulated. So when you look at the back of the ingredients and you see maybe a product might claim to be natural, but then you'll see products in there, ingredients in there that aren't natural. So maybe they'll have one natural ingredient or one organic ingredient, but then underneath there's a whole list of like a bunch of chemicals. And then there was this book that I started reading called The Chemical Maze, and we started reading that because my mom got sick with cancer in her spleen, and we were reading this book about all the different additives and whatnot that are found in like household goods, whether it be cleaning products, hair care, shampoos, face products, everything. And we were super surprised to see the chemicals that are in these products and what the actual purpose of that is and how carcinogenic it can be in large doses. So long story short, I was talking to a friend of mine saying, this is crazy. How come no one has actually made a true certified organic skincare brand? Because our skin is our largest organ, and what we put on our skin sinks in. And this is something that we can control because we can't control the pollution and everything outside. We can't control a lot of things, but one thing we can control is what we ingest and what we put on our body and on our skin. And so she said, why don't you talk to a friend of mine? And her friend was making organic essential oils in Australia. And I spoke to her and she put me in contact with an organic chemist who works, in Australia. I spoke with them. I sat down and I said, I know it's crazy, but I'd love to develop a certified organic skincare range. I want the key ingredient to be noni. That's a whole nother story, but I've been drinking noni since I was about 13. And I really feel like it helped me so much, both internally and also externally when I applied it on my skin. It helped with sunburn, pimples, because it's antimicrobial and also anti-inflammatory. And it's a superfruit that contains over 100 vitamins and minerals. And I wanted that to be the key ingredient across the whole range. And that was interesting because it's quite a pungent fruit. So we had to figure out a way to freeze dry it so that you lock in the nutrients. It's just as effective, but it doesn't have the smelly, the smell that the actual fruit has. They call it the cheese fruit, and it's been around for thousands of years, helping a lot of people with different ailments. And so, yeah, I started Cora. The idea was back in 2006, and then I launched 2009 in Australia. And now we're sold in over 30 countries, and I'm still own 95% of the company. I had a 5% investor from the beginning, and it's a lot of work when you have your own company, but it's also something that when you are passionate about something, it doesn't feel like work. And so when Universal came and said, would you be interested in designing, a collection with us? I said, yes, but I really, if I'm going to do this, I want to give it my whole heart, because whatever I do, I just give so much to it. And so I came to our first meeting with the whole vision board and idea of what I wanted the collection to be. And they were like, wow, no one's actually to us like this before, so prepared. And I was like, well, my mother always taught me, if you're going to do something, do it properly or don't do it at all. And so they were super interested, and it evolved from there. And that was such a long-winded answer, but there were so many questions in that one question.
Absolutely. So moving back a little bit with the creation of Cora Organics, I understand how intention, care, and quality, as you were saying, are so important to you. So tell me, was this a similar equation when it came to designing this collection with Universal Furniture?
Yeah, so the whole collection from the beginning, I wanted the elements of love, joy, bliss incorporated into the furniture, because I believe that we're all energetic beings, and there's so many different studies out there on that, which is, one of the reasons why I really believe in intentions. And I also feel like there are different ways to infuse that into what you are doing. So originally I wanted the love collection to be for the bedroom and joy to be for the dining area space and like the kitchen, and then bliss to be for the living areas. But then I realized we can infuse love, joy, bliss throughout like our whole home. And so that's why it's the love, joy, bliss collection. But in the beginning I was quite specific. And then I realized as we continued along, a lot of the pieces can be interchangeable. So they don't necessarily have to fit like just in your living room. You can mix and match the different rooms.
You really dove in headfirst from the beginning of this collaboration. You were prepared with mood boards, with swatches during the pitching process, and you were extremely involved in every aspect of production. So as a hands-on collaborator with this very distinct vision, what was that initial inspiration when you got started? And did it eventually evolve during the process?
It was, yes. So my original inspiration was definitely similar to what the execution is, like the neutral palettes, the tactile nature of the different fabrics. Even though they're neutral palettes, you have like the wood grain, and then you have the white lacquer, and then you have the taupe, and then you have the beautiful glass with like little pops of color here and there, and then the geometrical shapes that are, for me, kind of infusing the crystal element into the collection as well, because I am a big believer in crystals. My whole range of Cora Organics, every ingredient is touched upon rose quartz in the manufacturing process, and it has been since day one. And it's interesting to me because now it's becoming, clean beauty, and also the use of crystals are becoming more talked about and appreciated. And anyway, it's something that I, as I said, started with my company like back then. And now to infuse that that symbolism of the crystals throughout a lot of the geometric shapes that I created was just so fun to see that come to life, because it adds another element of, like, for me, making it feel more special or more interesting, because you might first look at a piece in a room and you don't see every detail, and then you're like, oh wow, like that, you see a little bit more the closer you look at it, like whether it be the knobs or the shape underneath.
There are almost layers of detail that you're constantly discovering.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. So, and now more than ever, people are spending a lot of time at home. I know your vision was to translate your ideals of tranquility, authenticity, and beauty into timeless yet practical home furnishings. And I feel like it's almost as if you were looking into the future when designing this collection, and understanding that people would want comfort and sanctuary during this period of uncertainty. How do these ideals touch upon your life and your own home aesthetic?
Yeah, I really have been quite a homebody my whole life, and I love my space to feel nurturing, and I love to feel inspired by my space at home as well. And so translating that into the pieces and creating that feeling when people have these pieces in their own home is something that I'm very excited about, and I'm excited for other people to have that experience, because for me, I'm a very empathetic person, a very I'm quite sensory and tactile, and so being able to incorporate that into my designs was something that I feel like helpful when I come. I feel like it's nice and helpful when I come home and I get to sit on the sofa, and I love the tactile of how it feels under my skin, and I get to see the beautiful mother of pearl inlay on the table. It's like a sensory experience, and a very, as I said, nurturing, very calming experience. So I'm happy that I get to hopefully inspire that in other people's homes that have incorporated my collection into their homes. And the pieces themselves are very interchangeable with what other people have in their home. So it's not like you need to just go and decorate your whole house with the Miranda Kerr collection, but you're more than welcome to. But the pieces work very well because they are neutral. They do work very well with other pieces people have in their homes.
Absolutely. So now we're going to take a look at some specifics from the collection, starting with the Love, Joy, Bliss round dining table, which I know it's one of your favorites. The glass top allows you to look down and see this stunning geometric base. So was there something specific that inspired this piece? And tell me, why is it one of your favorites?
I love the fact that it's quite a large workable table, but it also fits in smaller spaces. So it can hold a room that's like it has a lot more space, or it can hold its own when it's in a smaller space. So for example, I have it now in a little kitchen nook, a little breakfast nook in my home here in Malibu. And the whole inspiration behind it was the geometric shape underneath that was resembles the crystal shape and form. And I love the gold detail, because to me it brings a sense of timelessness and elegance, and the beautiful glass table on the top. The combination of the two just feels very, I love the way that the air moves through it. It feels very light, and I love the way that the light literally moves through it. It feels like you can put that table in many different rooms and it would work. Like it could work in Paris, it can work in my Malibu house, it could work in my country house. It just feels a very workable table. It's quite versatile. And the whole collection, I wanted to be also timeless and not date. So I love, like, when I decorate my homes, that I feel like those pieces are going to last like forever. Like, I'm not really into trends at all. I really like to just find pieces that are timeless and then can hopefully like maybe be passed down to like my kids and whatnot. So that was also a piece that I feel could translate and stand the test of time very well.
Yeah, looking at your collection as a whole, one thing that you were saying that is very clear is versatility.
Yes.
The pieces can really live anywhere in the home and anywhere in the world, and they can be put together or separate, alone, and mixed with other furnishings. For example, the runway console. It can be used in the living room, the dining room, the entryway. So please tell me more about this piece and the design of the gem-like doors.
I really was so specific with the design of these doors, and I wanted it to be like 3-dimensional. And I remember drawing it for the team and just saying, like, I want it to feel like a jewel box. Mm-hmm. And I really want that lacquer finish, the taupe lacquer finish, to really be a piece that people can use, as you said, like in the runway in their home, or also to be used in the dining room if you want to put like, you could put plates and cups and everything in there, or you could put it in your living room and have like games and things for the kids. So I love that piece. I feel like it feels very timeless. It feels very luxe. It feels very, I feel inspired when I look at that piece. I just feel like the clean lines, there's something about like the clean lines and the, you know, the legs, the detail in the legs, it just feels elegant.
I also love the color. I think that it's quite striking and beautiful.
Yes, it is. The color, that beautiful taupe color, is like it's interesting because I think when sometimes people look online, it doesn't translate as what it is in person. And one thing I would say is you will not be disappointed when you buy any of the pieces and actually get them and see them, you know, in the real physical space. You'll see so much more detail and you will be over the moon excited, because in person, these pieces just feel so good. And I'm not being biased. Like, even if someone else had created this, I'd be like, wow, this is, you know, this is a great piece, and these are great pieces that just come to life when you put them in your home, as opposed to just seeing them on a screen. Like, it's sometimes hard to buy from a screen, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. No, the pieces are striking. They're really beautiful. So moving into the living room, while the Brentwood chair's overall silhouette and tapered legs make it so aesthetically pleasing, it also looks so extremely comfortable. Can you vouch for that and say it's extremely comfortable?
Yeah, it's such a comfortable chair. And also quite versatile. I was so obsessed with that chair and the comfort and the simplicity of it that I have one in my bedroom and one in the living room just over here behind me. It's a great chair to just kind of snuggle up and read a book in, or just like lay back at the end of the day. This one in particular, I can sit here and watch the sunset whilst like kind of laying back, having a cup of tea. It's just a very cozy experience. It's, you know, it's quite deep. The depth of the chair is like, so it feels, and then with the ottoman, it just feels so cozy and relaxing. And my little ones jump up on there with me as well.
And it's also upholstered in a stain-resistant fabric, which is wonderful for children.
Yes, it is. And trust me, I have experienced some spills, and this is a very, very good, durable fabric, because people think, oh no, whites, creams, not with the kids. It's actually amazing when you have this stainless free fabric that really just, my son the other day spilt like his sippy cup on there, and I was like, and I ran and got a towel, and it just literally just like wiped directly off. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
I'm sure with kids, as a mother, you created this collection to also be livable and to also be family friendly. So that's really important.
Super important, because I have 3 boys. I have a 2-year-old, 11-month-old, and a 9-year-old. And so they're completely in different stages. Like, one's breastfeeding, the other one's, my 2-year-old is like jumping up and down on the sofa with his sippy cup. And then my 9-year-old's like there, and I'm like, take your shoes off inside, please. And he's got his feet up on the sofa, and I'm just like, But these durable fabrics are really so complementary to a family lifestyle, and they're really something that I'm actually quite impressed with. So
I have an 11-month-old, so I know how it is for sure. So last but certainly not least, the bedroom. I love how you chose to use a white lacquer finish for the Malibu bed. To you, what was the most important aspect when creating furnishings for the most calming, soothing room in the home?
My bedroom is a place that I really feel needs to just be completely soothing and rebalancing and like very harmonious, because I'm, just like everyone else, working like back to back running around, getting the kids to bed, all of that stuff. When I get into my bedroom, it needs to feel super rebalancing and harmonious, and like my little cave in a way, where I can go and recharge with my husband and wake up in the morning and do it all over again. So I wanted to also bring about the different tactiles, which is why with the Malibu bed, which is probably my favorite, I wanted specifically, I drew the details of which way I wanted the wood to go, and the different layering elements of that white lacquered bed, to me, feels like it brings about a really interesting bed head that's subtle, that's not too overwhelming or overpowering for your space where you need to kind of recharge and like relax. So it's enough detail to be interesting, but not too much detail to be stimulating. Because at home, you know, when we go to bed, it's really important to, you know, I have a whole wind down routine where I like put my phone on airplane mode and have my crystals in my room, and it's really important. And I've had both of my homes feng shuied, and it's really important for that space in your bedroom to just be very nurturing. And I feel like that bed to me feels like strong, and it feels, you know, like the beautiful detail. It makes me, I mean, it feels super cozy, but at the same time, like tranquil. So, I mean, I love that bed.
It's really beautiful. It's one of my favorite pieces.
Thanks.
Miranda, thank you so much for joining us today on Collab Lab. And thank you to our viewers for tuning into DesignTV. You can learn more about Miranda and her furniture collection, as well as her skincare line, Cora Organics, at mirandakerr.com. My name is Brittany Chevalier McIntyre. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Hey, design friends and fans. Now, it's a wrap. The New York Design Center's first ever virtual What's New, What's Next has been a mega hit, with over 75 programs during the last 4 weeks. 200 Lex started an inaugural Ambassador program featuring designers from all across the country. And then asked 20 designers 20 questions about what's new and what's next for them. Here's what they had to say.
I've been asked what my favorite go-to product is that I specify for nearly every project. I must say there's always a little Merida in the mix. Merida's long been one of my favorite flooring companies. What's your favorite personal go-to accessory?
These gold hoops, they're super delicate and understated, but also really classic. They always make me feel like I'm complete and dressed. What is your favorite pick-me-up snack from Butterfield Cafe after a long day of specking?
It has to be the marble pound cake and a coffee. It's that perfect sweet treat. What's your favorite showroom for lighting, and why is it a favorite source?
My favorite lighting showroom at 200 Lexington is without a doubt Aero Studios. They always have really interesting lights with unusual kind of profiles. What is your favorite showroom for art and accessories?
Is Paul Donzello's namesake gallery on the 15th floor. Paul is known for his unerring eye, particularly for sophisticated mid-century Italian design and increasingly for contemporary ceramics.
What are your signature colors in fashion and interior design?
Definitely pink, love. But when it comes to interior design, I've been known to make blue spaces very soft and feminine. When working with your dream client, do you prefer totally hands-off or very involved?
I prefer clients to be involved, but not too involved. I lead with a narrative rather than a specific program. To use this information creatively to design uniquely characterful space that captures and reflects the personalities of those clients. When presenting ideas to a client, Do you show all finalized items at once? Or do you show pieces as you find them?
I always show it to them in sort of a full realized concept, sort of a look and feel, if you will, that gives them a real strong understanding of not only our design solution, design concepts, but of an overall design point of view, and sort of build the design from that point of view forward. What's your favorite showroom that's a home away from home or an office away from office at 200 Lex?
I love going to showrooms that really feel like an extension of my design studio, and when I leave, I feel really inspired and refreshed. What's your design signature?
My design signature is the use of bold and vibrant color. We thrive on the energy that color brings to a space, and we seek to infuse it in every project. What's one current design trend you would love to see fade away?
It'd be open concept living. I like rooms. I like rooms that interact with each other and with the people who are using them and that have purpose and function. What makes a showroom a must-see when you're specifying for a project?
I have 2 must-visit showrooms as soon as I enter the design center, and it's Crosby Street for rugs and Fair for furniture. So I ask, what makes a showroom memorable and a must-see again soon?
First and foremost, product selection and design aesthetic. Secondly, does that selection and aesthetic line up with the project I'm working on? And lastly, is it a low-key vibe in there? I tend to gravitate to the showrooms where I feel that I can really take the time I need to find the product I'm looking for. What makes visiting a showroom special?
Cliff Young. I absolutely love all of the beautiful modern designs that they carry. They always have the most amazing mixture of textures, and I am obsessed with their new lighting line. What's that one personal accessory that everyone identifies as being unmistakably you?
Embracing indoor-outdoor living, bringing nature from outside into my interiors by bringing the indoors outside by creating comfortable lounge seating. Which showroom is your home away from home or your office away from home, and why?
Is the Atelier at Berlin. Fantastic seating, really wonderful team in there, and I hope everybody goes in and checks it out. So let me ask you this, what's your favorite showroom for fabric and wall covering, and what's your favorite pattern?
I'm an avid collector of contemporary art and love to create works of art out of my own interiors. The wallpapers and fabrics created by Vutsa are works of art in themselves. They can transform the simplest of spaces into complete jewel boxes. They are spectacular. My question for you is, when you're outsourcing products for your clients, how often do you find things for your own home?
I am lucky to be in a profession where I can indulge 2 of my favorite passions. One is design and one is shopping. And every now and then I'll find the perfect piece. Our apartment, which has been referred to as the island of lost toys, is full of great stuff. What's your favorite fabric house and what's your favorite pattern?
When it comes to fabrics, I like to think small by supporting local artisans in their craft. It gives me great pride in supporting these local businesses and helping them grow. Think of it sort of as my decorative trickle-down economics. When you're out shopping or sourcing for your clients, how often do you find things for your own home?
When shopping for a client, I tend not to buy things for my own home. I think it's very important to stay focused on your client. When you go to the New York Design Center showrooms, do you go by yourself? Do you take an assistant? Do you shop with your client? Or do you take an entourage?
Oh, let me answer that. Hi, I'm Jim Druckman, president of the New York Design Center, and so happy to have all of you with us. We see designers in packs, pairs, with clients and without every day. Whether you're working solo or with a team, 200 Lex is the most vibrant marketplace for design. Our 100 showrooms look forward to welcoming you, inspiring you, and helping you find new products and design materials for your next project. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your support. Be safe and be well.